Hello everybody and welcome back to Tekkit. So here I am out and away admiring my wonderful house on top of the hill, or my hilltop house as I named it on very episode 1 of this series. So we are at episode 101 of a very comprehensive and thorough season, and I've done a lot of very weird and interesting things. Probably the biggest and weirdest of those interesting things is to produce this villager village. So using the MFFS system to shield and protect my villagers so that I could, harvest their trades was, and still is, I believe, quite a unique idea. I don't think there are many other people that have done something quite like this. Built them some really nice houses as well that they choose not to use because apparently they don't meet villager housing requirements. They'd much rather have 17 of them cramming together inside a 2x2 room. How many are you in here? Just 2 today. So you'd much rather be in here. 3, no 3, I was wrong. 3, there's 3 in here today. You'd much rather, and they're not even in this one, cramming together in here than you would use the nice sort of expensive condo that I've built down over here. But that's fine. It's all housed on top of a nuclear reactor anyway, that I'll never tell you about. But there's loads of other things that we've done. So I've got automated tree farms, collecting the 3 different types of tree: jungle, birch, and oak. Cactus farm, melons, which apparently are growing all wrong, which is bad because I use melon seeds quite heavily, actually, thinking about it. So I might need to put you back into action. So one of these is homoed. There we go. So we need 4 melon seeds. And that'll put you all back to life. I know you've already managed to stop. Cool. Got a sheep farm collecting wool. And the ender chest network. I'm very impressed by my ender chest network. Using the ender chests to gather all the resources and put them into the system. So we've got all the stupid Galacticraft machines that don't really work properly for oxygen and for compressing things. There's also a circuit fabricator, yep, circuit fabricator, and bonus circuit fabricator. Oh, I forgot about this. My old school mass pulverizing and furnacing system with hoppers on top of hoppers. Mistcraft. I probably haven't looked into Mistcraft as much as I perhaps could have done. There is a lot to Mistcraft in the sense that if I type page into my ME network, I've got so many pages of, how many dense ores have I got? So I've got 5 dense ores, so if I didn't have quite as many laser drills as I did have, or do have, then I might have a look at that. Potions, never really did anything with potions that I needed to, because everything is, some swords. Silk Touch, that's good to know. I'm not even sure why I've got some of these things in places I've never looked at in a long period of time. So I've got loads of Mistcraft worlds, who I'd forgotten what some of these are probably, and I'd have to go and experience and find them and then enjoy. Oh, that's on Mars, and that's on Mars as well. I think one of these is the Cryotheon world, which was quite a good find. But I haven't really played with Mistcraft much. I used Mistcraft exactly as I needed it to get basically a world that I could quarry and then dispose of. Down my second or lower ground or basement, when I first set it up, was my fuel location where I had the engines burning fuel to generate power. But that was soon replaced by my cryogenics, not cryogenics, because that's freezing people. What's the word I want? What's going to annoy me now? Because I'm not going to be able to think of it. Herbonics? No, it's. I'll forget it. I know. Anyway, it's my my indoor growing of wheat facility with bonus for seeds. I think actually it's carrots over here, isn't there? Yeah, they're carrots, and this is a bonus for carrots if we need them for biofuel. So they're just bone meal machines. This bad boy is using the fertilizer that it gets from sludge produced by my cows. We also got my laser set up, assembly table set up. So there's quite a lot of lasers. I could probably put more on now that I've got more power. but automating it using the ME system is something that I'm very happy with. I'm glad that that actually works and does what I want it to do, so I can summon those on demand and then down into my main warehouse floor. So now it looks very different from obviously when it started, because we've built different things over different episodes to do different jobs. So the pig slaughterer has gone for collecting meat and pink slime that I needed for my first laser drills. My squid tank, obviously for squids, has gone, and after I got probably more ink than I'll ever need. What's my ink? 6,800, so yes, I'm pretty sure I'm never going to need that much ink. The new array of machines designed to allow the mass. Why has every other one got naught? The mass creation of anything that I could ever need, because it'll just dump, then spread it happily. So yeah, learning about this round robin mode a bit late, because it would have been very useful perhaps early on. In the dense mode, it actually just means that it will expand or pretend. So the system will now think that this is 1,000 pipes long. So when it's searching for inventories, it won't pick this over any of these first. It'll pick all of these first before it tries to put it in the chest. And the chest has the round robin mode anyway, so it just outputs back into the system brilliantly. So the breeding and the slaughter. So cows that have never touched grass. I can't remember how many generations ago some of you may have touched grass, but yes, cows and pigs that have never touched grass, growing babies that will never see grass, and slaughtering them horrendously for meat and for their leather. My MFFS network, designed to, with my interdiction matrix, prevent the spawning and then the killing of mobs in and around my base, which was superseded by the need to set up mob spawners. So I've got 2 mob spawners using the Cursed Earth for my Division Sigil ritual, which was an extremely dangerous thing to do, but was made a lot easier by the interdiction matrix. Moving a blaze spawner, that required the wither, the killing of the wither, and actually with my moon set up to do so, it has made life a lot easier. I've also got my auto spawner set up so I can use any of the many safari nets that I have full of different mobs, be it slimes or wither skeletons or actual skeletons or anything. If I need any resource, I could speed it up the process. When it comes to other particular mobs, I set up a enderman spawner in the end so that they're only enderman spawn and then are killed. Because I've flown many miles away from the actual world, there's nowhere else for them to spawn and be loud. Also set up a ghast spawner to use my mob essence to spawn and then kill ghasts so I can collect their tears. It always seems sad to murder ghasts and collect their tears in that way. Then we have my ME network itself. So what started life as a single terminal, a couple of chests, maybe a drive bay and a controller, is now almost a bank of drive bays, which I'm going to need to expand into as I further increase my control over everything. But also my computer, which is embedded in the wall, contains many recipes to build many things. Quite impressed by my crafting monitor wall, I'm going to be honest. I do like being able to just, oh no, I haven't got any Enderium. I better look at making some more Enderium. And my system is just like fully automated to do it. So if I put 64 on, for example, it will do what it needs to do. It has access to everything that it needs to have access to. So it will start to throw some Enderium blend and some catalysts. It uses the Resonant Ender. It's all just wonderfully automated. A sawmill, so I can make planks in any number of quantities, and then I've got my quantum link chamber, which is currently deactivated, but allowing me to, I wonder what my singularity is, allowing me to communicate with my other locations around the world. Biofuel was built just because I can, to help actually use up the resources that I was creating, but turned into its own little sort of power generating gold mine, because like a permanent bank of bioreactors can be left on biofuel reactors, and they will all just sit and generate RF continuously for me. And I also have, this is making some more bone meal. So clearly it ran out of bone meal and therefore got activated. So 1,000 bone, down to 1,000 bone, am I? Not anymore, I'm not, but I was clearly. But I have 13,000 bones, so that's not really a massive issue, is it? Let's be honest. Big reactor. So again, started life as a normal reactor, just taking power for Yellorium, but then converted it into a turbine reactor, and that allowed me to now build 4 massive turbines and have each of those turbines powering a laser drill and sending thousands of RF surplus into, well, tens of batteries. And then even if with those all set up, and still producing far more RF than I actually need. And just to go and make it worse, I decided to then obviously expand. Out the back we have the farms to keep saplings all going on. So we've got a automatic sapling harvester for each of the core saplings, using again autonomous activator and bone meal. And this is just that's why we're running out of bone meal, because this is stuck in a loop. So let's put that at like 51,000 just for a second, and then it can go back down, and there we go, and solve that problem. Fortunately, there's no real way of automating it to do that. That's kind of something that does occasionally go wrong when it comes to this system. Nether wart. So how much nether wart am I asking a system to keep? 40,000. So I think I changed this recently, so it's just growing and harvesting at the moment. A solar array, which I thought was going to be a brilliant daytime RF collector. It's going to really help boost my power and solve some of the power issues I had at the time. And for the millions of resources that it used, it barely generated any RF whatsoever. It was something ridiculous that it was going to put out like 10,000 RF a day at most. My system was draining 10,000 RF a tick. Stupid Galacticraft. And now I have my fulmination generator, which is it still filling these up, keeping them full? Yep. So we're still testing the theory that it is glitched and therefore I'm just going to get permanent power. But there are people that are saying there's work, so therefore it may eventually stop supplying me with the power that it generated and run out, in which case my lasers will stop functioning. But at the moment I have 6 lasers in a symmetrical formation, all happily ticking away, gathering me more and more ores for my system to process. And actually, my system has happily processed them. There has been no real problems. My little processing room at the back is currently keeping on top of all of the ores here. There's not even a backlog. It's just a backlog in cutting them into ingots. So that's really good news. What's this doing? Oh, this is converting redstone ore into redstone. This is just continuously making cobblestone because I just refuse to turn it off. And then we obviously have our deuterium, which I'm currently not using because that failed catastrophically, to be honest. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. There's only one more thing, realistically, that is in and around my world, and that's just the little experimental room that I created, which currently houses the sludge boilers, and so is not really the safest place in the world to go. So I'll stay away from there so I don't get poisoned. House has windows, house has a roof, I'm very happy with that. So then we get to expand ourselves around the world. So my space base with oxygen was a wonderful little project that I completed to hopefully sort of give me some options, but unfortunately it didn't turn out to be as good as I would liked. It does have its own big reactor, which it looks like I've turned it off, but how much are these doing for power? So these are all out of power. Oh no, they're still draining slowly. So I still got access to my network at the moment, but the key thing that I built the space base for was the particle accelerator, but it proved to be unfortunately a glitchy and annoying pain in my ass, and it caused a lot of crashes and a lot of issues and quite a lot of lag, and so it ran for as long as I could tolerate it, but eventually I had to turn it off. And apparently it's a common problem that people experience with particle accelerators. It's quite a difficult one to get right, unfortunately. So you can set up, if you basically build a new Mistcraft world and don't move from where you spawn and build your particle accelerator there in like the chunks that come naturally, then you might find it okay. If we go from space, so our stopway point, to the moon. So I never really used the moon for what I had intended to. I never came back to it and expanded upon it. I can show you what I was doing, but so I was building some floors, and I was going to build it up. I think I was going to have it finish at that layer, wasn't it? Because that's where it reached the dome. But I was going to build some floors, and again use this as like a factory where I was going to have a lot of my pulverizers and furnaces and things to do that work. But it's got its own little big reactor, happily plodding away. Hasn't needed a refresh of fuel, most because I haven't been here. But once again, I have a force field in this case, protecting it and preventing the spawning of moon mobs. But I also have the specialist or specialized double platform force field for the purpose of helping me spawn and contain the wither, which actually turned out to be quite a good way of doing it. It worked really well, having a little cube in which the wither can spawn but can't escape, and then I can just fight the wither and collect the goods, because auto killing the wither didn't give me what I wanted. So that was great fun to work out and to play with. Oh, I don't have access back to the moon base. Don't remember too much about what else I've got on my moon base. Nether Quartz World was good. Is this Mars? No, this appears to be my quarry. Fair enough. Not sure why that's there, or where is that? There's Nether Quartz. That's home. So I don't have access to Mars through here. I thought I did. I thought I was clever than that. So Mars is one of these, isn't it? Mars. There we go. Mars. So the Mars base, which again, I'll start outside. So this was a colossal joke of a mistake. Using hardened glass. Asking my system to produce this much hardened glass in order to make a pyramid on top of my Mars base seemed like a really good idea at the time, but actually was a colossal joke when it comes to resource use. That is ridiculous. At least I know I can get some hardened glass if I ever need it now, having abandoned my Mars base. Also started to terraform Mars a little bit. So here is some terraformed landscape. Not sure how the trees are still surviving, but they're reoxygenating and repopulating Mars. So the Mars base was a huge building project that I took on. Again, designed to be self-sufficient, so I did have a singularity and ME connection here, but I've clearly taken it away. Loads of oxygen collectors and hedgerows or leaves, so that it would allow me to seal my base. Now, unfortunately, it turned out that sealers are a massively lag-centric nightmare. So many resources here as well. So I decided to build a reactor on Mars, designed again to give me more power. And I've put together a giant array of turbines, because in my previous Tekkit Let's Play, in the previous version of Tekkit, the reactors would power multiple turbines with ease. But I kind of got a little bit over generous here, and it turns out that even with the reactor at the size that I created it wasn't going to create enough steam to power even a few turbines, so it was not ideal. But my fission or fusion reactor, I can't remember which one this is, again a wonderful project that I undertook, looks really cool, but just didn't work, unfortunately. Didn't deliver. So again, a massive resource use, perhaps waste, some people would say, to try and deliver another way of generating power, which just couldn't, or didn't cut it, realistically. But it's a free Tesseract. So if I was going to take it all apart, then I would obviously gather or return a huge amount of resources. Get in there. There we go. So that's Mars. So that's my world. So if anyone's new to the series and hasn't seen me obviously create all of this, I'm not going to go to the Nether because there's nothing really to see in the Nether. Oh, it's my launch platform. Oh, spider spawned and died. My launch platform for my space rocket for my first adventures to both Moon and Mars. But yeah, here has been my world. So we are past episode 100, and we are realistically at the end of the sort of machines that I can create. There's very little left for me to introduce. The only things I can do now realistically are to improve upon what already I have. So set up new ways of doing the same thing. I don't think that's really going to be what everybody wants to see. So what I am going to suggest now is that I ask you, as the people that view these videos and want to view these videos, what would you like me to do? So there are two different things I'm thinking of doing when it comes to playing Tekkit. There is obviously start a whole new everything. So, you know, scrap it all again. Not scrap it all, put it to one side again, and start from the very beginning and go through the process of gathering initial resources, you know, setting everything up, and, you know, looking at perhaps maybe trying some different things, trying different ways of doing things, so that everything's not effectively just the same. Or the alternative to that, because there is no new version of Tekkit to change to, which is the key. I was really hoping that they'd release a new version of Tekkit sometime soon, but it doesn't look like they are. So the second option is that I don't do a traditional Let's Play. I do a sort of tutorial style Let's Play. So each episode would be pretty much a how to build a particular machine or particular setup. So it would go without all of the on-screen mining, without all the on-screen just playing and trial and error. Each episode would be right, today we're going to have a look at automatic, you know, pulverizing. Today we're going to introduce basic computing. Today we're going to have a look at different item ducts and how to use basic item duct networks, things like that, just to introduce, you know, how to set up oil refineries to refine fuel and different alternatives that are available, because there's different mods that can do very similar things, and how to get an efficient return on using things like fuel or wood or tree farms, or how to, you know, harvest anything. And basically that would be the alternative. So because I have this world, I can still play this game occasionally and come back in and do some random things, some really big projects if I'm in the mood. But the main videos that I would release until there is a new version of Tekkit would be, you know, how to do bits of this Tekkit, and just, you know, help you out in the sense of just being able to find quick how-to guides to do certain things. Obviously, I'm playing Agrarian Skies, which is my alternative series at the moment, and that's introduced me to a whole new set of mods, like loads and loads of mods in that pack that I've never played before. And if anyone is watching that, you'll know that I'm not very good when it comes to instantly knowing how to use all of those mods and making a few mistakes as I go along. That's the whole point of the Let's Play, isn't it? Is it that you follow through and see what I'm doing. That's the kind of Let's Play I'm doing at the moment, is I will play and I will have ideas and I'll try and implement them, and you'll see how that goes. So that's going to be the transition between the new Tekkit, perhaps, is to have a look at taking the time to plan and prepare episodes to give you the most benefit out of what it is that you would obviously want and get to see from looking at those. So basically I want some feedback. So if you have taken time to watch this episode, I know it's approaching 25 minutes, which is a bit longer than I tend to like my episodes to be, because I think there's a magic spot around 20 minutes that's good for this type of video. But I appreciate everything that you've done as far as viewing, commenting, liking, and everything else that's happened. It means a lot to me, because I never really started creating videos for the purpose of having an audience and having a following like I do. So even though it may only be sort of 30 or 40 of you that regularly visit and view my videos when they are released, I still receive a lot of positive feedback from it, and I greatly appreciate that. So therefore I want to obviously continue to provide you with content that you want to see. So I would really appreciate if you did take a moment and leave a comment down below just about exactly what you would like. Do you want another Let's Play series from start to finish? Just me doing, you know, the building up of getting to this point now once again, and going through it and showing you how I get there? Or would you prefer to leave this series that you can watch for that benefit, and have a more specific tutorial style series where I go into a bit more detail about how certain things work and how to set them up to get the most out of them, and give you alternatives to how to do the same thing and maybe in different ways? So that'd be great. And yeah, thank you very much for viewing and for watching and enjoying the series, and I look forward to seeing you again for some more episodes very soon. Alright guys, bye for now.